My two favorite things at this point are either listening to Reddit or playing Minecraft. And I thought I'd just combine both those loves that I have and make a video about it. I thought today I'd read some relationship stories while I start this new Minecraft world. Been meaning to get back into just vanilla survival, so here we go. I, 28 female, unsure if it's time to draw boundaries with my boyfriend, 28 male, and his coworker, late 20. Oh, I already know how this is going. Who he got very close with very quickly. First, some background and the good stuff. I've been best friends with my boyfriend since 2013. We even lived together during graduate school for 2 years before we started dating. We started dating in 2016 when we were roommates. They were roommates. So we've been together for about 2.5 years now and have lived together for a lot of that time. We did a brief stint of long distance when we got jobs in different locations after school. In January of this year, he moved states to be with me, and I still can't get over how amazing that was of him. We are now living happily together in our own apartment, and we couldn't be happier. He is my best friend and absolutely the person I plan to spend the rest of my life with. He's smart, funny, absolute sweetheart, and a romantic. And he makes me feel so loved every day. Also, he has had many female friends during our time together, and this has never bothered me. I'm rarely the jealous type. He hung out one-on-one with girls before, and I have no complaints. There's been one girl I told him I was uncomfortable with, and he stopped hanging out with her. But that was for a lot of reasons, not just because she's a girl. Yeah, every relationship gets those. It's healthy to, within, 100 people, there's always going to be one person you just don't feel comfortable with. It's good that he followed it. So on a recent issue, after moving to my state, he had to pass a couple of tests in our field before he could start working. He did so, and he was able to secure a job in early January. He likes his new job so far and generally likes and gets along with his coworkers, but he hasn't made any real friends yet. He hung out with my coworkers / sort of made friends too. I'm also pretty new to the area and he likes them as well, but no one he would hang out with one-on-one. I know he's missing having a group of friends in his home state where he moved from. About a month ago, maybe a little more, he started mentioning one coworker a lot. We'll call her Liz. Oh, this is going great so far. At first, it was just in passing. Oh, my coworker Liz said this or that. It also turns out Liz used to work with an organization that works closely with my organization, so she knows a lot of people that I work with and what's going on with my job and field of work. So it was a small world kind of thing. She would mention someone I knew or something about my job, and he would tell her he also knew that person because of me. That kind of thing. But he also started talking about her more and more often. I'm talking properly every single day over for a few weeks. He would have a story about Liz or something that she said. So I knew they were talking or hanging out at work a lot. He did say Liz mentioned she wanted to meet me, and she has a fiance that she lives with. So that made me feel good. Nothing to worry about, and I was happy he was making a friend here. Liz actually lived nearby us, in a temporary place because they were moving around for her fiance's job. So a couple of weeks ago, he tells me that Liz suggested that they started carpooling to work together. Their office is about 30 minutes away without traffic. But our city always has traffic, so it's more like 45 minutes each way most days. Honestly, this made me a little uncomfortable, since this meant they would be spending 1 to 1.5 hours alone together in a car every time they rode together. But I didn't say anything because they wouldn't be carpooling every day. Some days they work in the office and other days they work on projects around town. So this would only be on days where they both go to the office, maybe 2 to 3 days a week. Besides, he only mentioned it in passing as an idea at first. A few days later, he was heading out the door and he said, "Okay, I'm going to go pick up Liz and head into work." I was surprised because he never told me they decided to definitely start carpooling together. But it obviously wasn't a big deal. He has never mentioned it again, so as far as I know, it was the only day they've ridden together. It hasn't been an ongoing thing. I was fine with this. I mean, carpooling isn't necessarily bad, and it seems like she wants to meet you and bring her fiance, and I wouldn't say it's too bad so far. Things started intensifying quickly last week, though. As I mentioned, Liz and her fiance were in a temporary place before, so they decided to start looking for a permanent apartment. My boyfriend casually mentioned to me one day last week that they were actually interested in our building and that they wanted to come see it the next day. This came out of left field for me. Our building is very nice. It's a luxury building in a good area downtown. There are also tons of buildings in the area, but I figured they were just checking out all kinds of places, and ours was probably one of the many on the list. So late next week, they came to our building for a tour. I actually saw them briefly on the elevator, and we met for the first time. But they were being given a tour by management, so we didn't hang out. Well, later that night, Liz texted my boyfriend that they decided to rent in our building. I honestly didn't know what to say because I wasn't thrilled. I felt like now that they will definitely want to start carpooling together every day they can, and they would start becoming even closer. My boyfriend was obviously very happy about it when he told me. I just kind of asked if they were looking at any other places and why they weren't looking any closer to where she and my boyfriend work. And he said they were really just like this building, and her fiance works more closely to our area, so it works for them to live here. Obviously, there was nothing I could say, so I just said, cool. I don't know where she's getting these thoughts. Like, I get getting too close with someone, but if you haven't, like, you met in the elevator, obviously, but like, you have to give someone a chance. Because I know the boyfriend isn't clocking it. Like, men are stupid. We don't clock these things. Like, we're very straight, linear thinking. So to me, she'd have to meet her first, like, properly be introduced, and to the fiance, and then from there she can really vibe out what's going on. I don't think having all these predetermined thoughts based off hearing through someone else about this person is really the way to go. But let's see. Ever since then, I feel like they've been talking more and more. They text and have called each other a couple times. To be fair, as far as I know, it's either being work or apartment related. But I don't really see his phone, and I have no idea how much they talk. A couple of final things prompted me to write this post. Up until now, I wasn't thrilled about all of this, but could deal with it. This weekend, we traveled to visit my family for the holiday weekend. Yesterday, during a family lunch, he got up and went to the other room with his phone for a few minutes. When he came back, I asked, "Where'd you go?" And he said, "I was getting a phone call." Later, I asked who was calling him at lunch. He said it was Liz with a few questions because they were moving in at the time. This slightly bothered me because I feel like if I hadn't asked, probably wasn't planning to tell me it was Liz who called. Yeah, probably not, because it's just a phone call. I don't know anybody who really clarifies whose phone call, like who they're taking a call with, unless it's like something super important. Like I'm never going to tell anyone who called unless they specifically ask me, because it's a phone call. He went back to our city last night while I'm staying in my hometown with my family for a couple of extra days. While driving him to the airport, I got a random thought, so I asked, "You're just going to take an Uber back home, right?" That's how we got to the airport. He kind of hesitated and then said, "I was actually going to see if maybe Liz could pick me up, so I don't have to spend money on a Uber." Yet again, I felt like he never would have mentioned this to me if I hadn't asked. Also, we live close to an airport, so an Uber is not expensive, and he makes good money. I reminded him that Liz and her fiance were moving in that day and probably did not want to come pick him up at the airport. I would have said this to anyone. Moving sucks. Yeah, moving does suck. Like, the last thing I want to do is go help someone else while I'm moving in, because, my God, you're going to be exhausted by the end of it. So much stuff. He didn't end up asking her. I don't know what to do from here. On one hand, I'm genuinely glad he's making a friend. There are no red flags so far. Things seem 100% platonic. So far, yeah. Plus, she has a fiance, so we could all be couple friends. On the other hand, he seems to be getting really close to her really quickly. He talks about her constantly, a lot more than I explained in the post. They are probably going to be riding together often, and I feel like he's starting to, unconsciously or not, kind of hide some interactions with me from her. He's probably clocking that you're getting a feeling about her or misinterpretations about her. Should he be hiding them? No, but at the same time, he's probably seeing your reactions, and just because he's not doing anything, he's probably just going, well, mentioning her is making my fiance feel this way. So unless asked, I'm just not gonna mention her. It's not like he's doing anything wrong. He's just seeing your reactions, engaging off of it. Anyway, is it time to set boundaries? If so, what would be reasonable boundaries even be? Is carpooling together too much? Is it okay for them to hang out alone together outside of work? I have no idea, and I've never been in this situation before. I don't know how to talk to him. I just feel like we need to have a talk now that she's living in our building, but maybe I should wait and see if things escalate. This is a very tricky Now, on the one hand, I can see kind of where she's coming from. Like, obviously, there could just be absolutely nothing going on right now, which is more than likely the case. Nothing's happening, and the boyfriend's just not clocking that how it could come off. And because Liz has a fiance, he's probably going, well, yeah, she's with someone. Obviously, that means I'm not going to be doing anything, and I'm with someone, so she's not going to be doing anything. And we work together. And they haven't really hung out together outside of work by themselves, other than carpooling, obviously. But, like, you're on a highway in a car, like, nothing's really going to happen other than just chatting. Because if anything does happen, you're going to be late to work. It's going to be a little bit obvious. So, well, the only boundaries I could see is you have to communicate about it and just say, hey, I'm feeling this kind of way. I'm feeling this kind of way, and I'm not sure why. It's nothing against her. It's nothing against you. It's just, this is what my brain is telling me. You know, you kind of, if you've not done this really before at all, like, it's not going to come off as bad. Like, you're allowed to feel certain ways about certain things in relationships. If you're doing it all the time, it's a problem, but a one-off, hopefully he's going to understand and go, you know what? Okay, I get it. And then you guys can have a discussion about the carpooling thing, the talking all the time. Like, the talking all the time, that's easy enough to go like, hey, you guys can talk all the time. Like, obviously the phone calls are probably a little too much, but you can go like, hey, you guys can talk all the time, that kind of thing. I wouldn't say ask to see text messages with her all the time, but like, more than likely, like, if someone I'm with is like, hey, I feel like this about this person, like, I'm uncomfortable kind of thing, I'm gonna more than offer up my phone and just say, look, you can read whatever you want whenever you want, like, nothing is going on. But it's something the two of you have to navigate as your couple, because what works in, say, my relationships doesn't work in your relationships. You just gotta communicate it. You're bottling it up right now, and it's not gonna end well. Anyway, there's an update to this. So a lot has happened since my last post, and I got some advice there, so I wanted to post an update. After I made the last post, I came home from the trip with my family a couple days later. I told my boyfriend that I wanted to talk to him about something. There we go. Communication. And I brought up his friendship with Liz. I basically brought up all the concerns from the post. I told him I didn't want to discourage him from having a friend, but I also felt like they were talking quite a lot and spending a lot of time together, and that it was starting to make me feel uncomfortable. My boyfriend took it really well. He immediately reassured me that he only saw her as a friend, and that he hadn't even realized how it could look to me. When I brought up how I felt like he wasn't being forthcoming with information, like how he didn't mention the phone call from her, he said that would be 100% unintentional. He then immediately asked what he could do going forward to make me feel more comfortable. He offered to stop carpooling with her and to just cut down on contact with her, except for work-related stuff. See? If nothing's going on, he's just going to offer up everything because, like, he doesn't want you feeling that way, which 100% makes sense. I told him I didn't have a problem with carpooling because financially it does make sense. He spends a lot of money on gas, but maybe he could try to text and call her outside of work a little bit less. I also told him I would really love to meet her and her fiance. He enthusiastically agreed. See, communication, everyone. Communication is the most important thing. It resolves 99% of issues. He set up a hangout for the following weekend. The two of us and Liz and her fiance all went out for drinks at a bar in our building. They're moved in by now. It was actually really fun. It turns out we had a lot in common. Liz and I do very similar work, and we have very common nerdy interests. It was a little awkward at first, as meeting new people often is, but once we all got comfortable, we had a blast. From there, we have all become fast friends. Liz and I had developed our own separate friendship too. We text often, go to each other's places for dinner sometimes, and hang out on weekends. I can honestly say I really like Liz and her fiance as a person and trust her 100%. I no longer have a problem with her friendship with my boyfriend at all. Man, communication is just magic sometimes. They do still carpool sometimes, but they never have hung out alone outside of work. It's always the four of us. I feel a huge weight is being lifted off from my shoulders. Now, on to our second story. My best friend, 20 male, asked me, 20 male, out. I said yes. I didn't know it was a date. Oh no. Yeah, in that scenario, you kind of need to clarify a little bit. But here we go. I'm an idiot. I'll try to keep this short. Also, I was a bit drunk when this happened. Noah and I have been best friends since 2nd grade. We lived together with one another's friend near the college we go to together. He came out to me when we were in high school. It didn't change anything. I'd hope not. When we got to college, I came out as bisexual. Last night, we were hanging out with some friends and I had a bit to drink. When we were walking home, I could tell he was nervous, so I asked what's up. He asked if I wanted to go out with him. He literally said, "Do you want to go out with me?" I don't know why, but I thought he meant as friends. Thinking back to it, he really made it obvious it was a date, but I'm an idiot and I was still a bit drunk. I said yes. He suggested Saturday night. I said yes. I left to go to the gym before he got up, so I didn't see him. While I was at the gym, the friend we live with texted me that Noah was really happy this morning and she didn't know we were going on a date. She congratulated me and said that we made a cute couple. This literally happened 6 minutes ago. I'm panicking right now. I don't know what to do. I love him, but he's like my brother. I can't go out with him. How can I tell him I'm not interested without embarrassing more than I have to? I don't want to mess up our relationship. We're supposed to have lunch together in a few hours. What do I do? Update. Thank you guys so much for the advice. I only saw the first 30-something comments until just now, and I'm blown away by how many people have commented trying to give me advice. I tried to take a lot of the advice I got, but some of it was contradictory, so I couldn't do all of it. Thanks again to everyone who gave advice, even if I didn't see it up until after we talked. I texted Noah and asked if we could skip lunch and go home instead so we could talk. I tried not to make the conversation dramatic. I apologized to him for misunderstanding him. I told him I knew it must have taken a lot of courage for him to ask me out. I told him that he was my best friend. I loved him and that would never change, but I'd never thought about a romantic relationship with him. I apologized for and getting his hopes up. I apologize for screwing up and getting his hopes up. He asked a few questions. Did I really not know he meant as a date? He apologized for screwing things up between us, but I told him that I wasn't uncomfortable with him feeling that way about me. I told him that I understood if he wanted to space to process it, and I would give it to him if he wanted. But I also told him how important he is to me and how much I love him. He said he didn't think he wanted space. He just wanted to try and move on with the secret out. We've always been totally open with one another, except for him liking me, I guess. And he said he would be happy he wasn't keeping his feelings a secret anymore. We had a cheesy moment where I told him he could always talk to me about anything. It was like straight out of a rom-com. We talked for a long time about that. Apparently he had a crush on me since before he came out in high school, and after he had a few drinks last night, he decided, why not try? He decided, screw it, why not try? By the time he had to leave for his class this morning, things felt normal. I don't feel weird knowing about his crush, and he doesn't seem to feel hurt or anything because of my screw up. Maybe just a little sad. Yeah, I'd imagine so, if he's been holding on to that since high school. I'll definitely keep an eye on how much we interact and how he acts for a while. A few people warned me against accidentally flirting with him, and I'll have to try and keep things like that in check. I guess this is a pretty happy ending. I know there is still things to be aware of, but right now it looks like the conversation went pretty well. Thanks to everyone for commenting and supporting. It helped me not only with advice, but also just calming me down when I was really panicky this morning. Yeah, someone who's holding on to that kind of thing since high school, he should have let you know sooner before you guys got so close and moved in together, and I can see where the wires got crossed, but you let him down slowly, which was perfect. I don't think it's gonna hurt him in the end, but we'll find out because we have an update. First of all, I wanted to thank the people responding. I was majorly panicking when I wrote this post and the comments helped me a ton. Next, I want to say we are both men. Apparently this makes a big difference for some people in terms of advice. Some of the people who assumed I was a woman also made some weird comments and sent me some pretty gross messages. If you did this, please stop. That's not cool. I gave a bit of an update as an edit to the original post, but now since it's been 3 months, I should give you all an update about how things are going since then, since it seems like there's been a lot of interest. Noah is doing really well. I could tell he was still a bit embarrassed for the first couple weeks, but after he told me again that he was happy, he asked me because now he knew how I felt, he could get over it. He also thanked me for taking it so well, which is definitely thanks to what a lot of you said. So I guess I'm sort of passing his thanks on to you. One of the commenters said I should be careful not to do anything that seemed like flirting with him. So I tried to keep that in check. We used to hug a lot, sit really close together, tell each other flirty jokes, you get the idea. But I toned all those down to give him a lot of space and not mess with his feelings. I honestly think I see now why he thought I might be into him, because my relationship with him was very affectionate. Be a lesson for me on how to be more aware of other people and interpreting my signals. About a month after he asked me out, he asked me if I wanted to go to a gay bar with him. He made it super clear that it wasn't a date, did it in a really sarcastic way, which was a little embarrassing for me, but also I think it was good and he could joke about it. So we went to the local gay bar together and we had a really good time. He's a bit introverted, so I played wingman, and he ended up flirting with one really cute guy, and he seemed really happy. That was like 2 months ago, and we've gone to the same bar a couple more times since then. He's been getting a bit more comfortable putting himself out there, which is really cool to see, and he's just been more open and happy for the last 2 months, always smiling and eager to go do stuff. Not sure how it's related, but it's a noticeable change from before he asked me out. I'm doing great too. I'm just really happy that I didn't hurt our relationship and that he's so happy. I also learned some important things from this whole situation about communication and being aware on how I present myself. It sounds kind of weird, but I think it made us closer. We started talking about relationships more, which isn't something we really talked about before. He's gone on a few dates and he tells me about them. The most recent guy he went out with, he was really excited about, and I think he might be headed for his first serious relationship, which is amazing. That's actually what made me think to post this and decided to give you all an update. Well, that's great. Your friend has kind of moved on for the forever crush that he had on you. At least not forever, but for the few years he had. Now he knows it's never going to happen. He's really opened up a lot, which is always good to see. If you made it this far through the video, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while now, and I just finally said, screw it. I'm just going to start doing it. I'm going to try and keep up with regular posting at least a couple times a week. If you want to consider subscribing, I'd greatly appreciate it. Watching that number goes up will forever be awesome. All right, take care now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.